Now, you said that you and the pen and paper met at a very young age in your teenage years. When did
hmm
you first fall in love completely with it?
I would probably say around like 12. It was just the idea of being able to share your imagination with other people because that's what books are. You're able to share what's going on in your mind with other.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give him all glory in a way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, the voice of the Carolinas, and I created this space to shine the light on amazing people doing amazing things. Creators, visionaries, artists, everyday people making a difference. Every episode is more than just words. It's about inspiration you can carry into your own lives. And joining me today is Miss Shawniece Hall, a writer from all the way from Rhode Island, y'all, whose passion for storytelling began at a very young age through vivid imagination and heartfelt narratives. She creates worlds readers can truly step into. Her journey is rooted in resilience and purpose, and her message is simple: never give up on what sets your soul on fire. So, after her countdown, please welcome this amazing young lady to the platform. Hey, hey, how are you today?
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming and being a guest on my platform. I'm excited about getting to know the writer that you are. So, before we get started, tell everybody just a little snippet about you.
Well, my name is Shawniece Hall. I am an author now, but before that, I'm a mom. I'm a CNA. I have a degree in psychology. So, but before I'm an author, I'm all these other things as well. But I'm just a regular woman with goals, trying to meet them.
That's right. Now, you said that you and the pen and paper met at a very young age in your teenage years. When did
hmm
you first fall in love completely with it?
I would probably say around like 12. It was just the idea of being able to share your imagination with other people because that's what books are. You're able to share what's going on in your mind with other people. So reading other people's work and seeing how it played like a movie in my mind and how it dragged me into the book, like I wanted to be able to give that same feeling to other people.
Wow. So when you first picked up that pen as a teenager, did you know that you were holding that key to your entire world waiting to be discovered?
No, to be honest, no. Nope. Because I'm just now getting into it when this is something I was passionate about since I was a teenager. So that just goes to show how unserious I was about it until I really got serious about it. And now that I got my first book out, it just made me feel like, you know how you hear people say my childhood dream? Like to actually be walking in something that was a childhood dream is it's kind of crazy.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. It is. So now most writers or most authors are birthed through journaling. Writing everything down as a child, the feelings and everything. Did that start out that way for you as well?
No, not really. I had like a few journals growing up, but I wasn't like the journaling type. Plus, people were nosy growing up, so I didn't really trust having that journal around.
I get you now. I get that. Me either. They were nosy.
You're
So
right.
what was the first story that you wrote that made you realize, what, my imagination could truly transport people's lives?
Honestly, I would say like school when you had to do like essays and stuff like that at school, especially like our bigger projects. The way I would get into it and how the emotions I felt and everything, like I just wanted to get that on the paper so that everything that's in my mind, like I can convey that to the person and they can get that through my reading. So being able to write essays like that made me feel like, yeah, I could do it. And then when I got into college, you got to write longer essays. So just being so enthusiastic about that and emotional about that and passionate about that definitely made me feel like, okay, yeah, you could do this.
Wow. So now, everybody has a way of doing things when they sit down to write. Now, when you sit down to write, do you follow like the story or does the story follow you? What kind of process do you have? Music, instrumentals? How do you get into that flow?
So to be honest, it will be like a random idea will hit me. That's why like I said, like I tell people if you're someone who writes, make sure you've got either a notebook with you or like my cell phone, my notebook section is the golden goose because I could be anywhere and someone could say a word sometimes or like a little scene might come on and then like a whole movie like plays in my head, the whole story from beginning to end, and I like have to get it out right then and there. And this is what I call like the gist of your story because it's like I got a good maybe 3 to 5 paragraphs of like a beginning, middle, end, just in those 3 to 5 paragraphs. And then I could take that and expand it into chapters. So that's usually how my process works. Like it just hits me and I got to get going. Because if I don't get going, I'm not going to remember the story.
I can relate to you on that because I have to keep a notepad by the bed because I can wake up like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and something just like hit me. Gotta write it down real quick because if you don't, like you said, you're gonna forget it. Like a whole. That's funny you put it that way. A whole movie play in your head. Like, oh, I gotta write this down right now. I'm gonna forget it.
I will. And it'll be like the best parts that you forget. You'll remember some stuff, but it's like the best stuff vanished.
Right. That's just like having a dream. Every time we go to bed, we have dreams sometimes, but we wake up the next morning, we don't remember that dream vividly. We
Right.
some parts. Now, when you remember that whole dream, you better write it down because that's
Right. No, they do say that if you remember the whole dream, you should write it down because they say when we sleep, when we wake up, the enemy steals our dreams. That's why we can't remember. And the more you try to remember a dream, it's like it's fading. The more you're trying to
yes,
recall it, it's like it's fading.
yes, 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 every time. So now,
Mhm.
what has been the toughest obstacle you faced as a writer and an author, and how did that change the way that you tell stories today?
I think the biggest obstacle I faced so far is just learning the ropes of this all because it's not really the writing. Because once I get going, I'm going. It's like the story just want to come out. It's like word vomit. So I can't say with my first book or my second book, the hardest process has been the writing because that has been the easiest. The hardest part is usually just what comes after the writing, and then learning and finding the right people and finding the right teams and learning how to trust people when this like riding a bike, you know, it's your first time doing it. You're gonna fall, you're gonna scrape some knees, you're gonna meet up with some bad people, some good people. You gotta weed out the wheats from the weeds, you know what I'm saying? So that is the most hardest part of all this right now.
Now, is there any story that you like hesitate about telling? Like, some people have stories that they want to tell, but they don't quite know how to put it out there. Is there a story that you hesitate about actually putting out there one day?
The I could say that the second book I'm about to release, that was a little bit more personal. So I was a little bit hesitant because I know people will always have something to say. But at the same time, I wasn't hesitant because I'm like, there's so many people who my story will resonate with. There's so many people who will find this therapeutic, who will be like, hey, if she survived that, so can I. So I was just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do it. And the most important person was my mother. And my mother read it already. And she like, okay, put it out there. I love it. So as long as mama said yes, then yes.
Yes, your parents are always your first fans anyway. But
Well,
you
I
know
mean,
what?
I wanted her to read it first because a lot of it was like my childhood and stuff that I went through. And I
Oh,
didn't want it to be like, oh, my mom's reading it when everyone else is reading it. Like I wanted her to read it first so
right,
she knows what I wrote. You know what I'm saying?
right. Now, what was the hardest part about you writing that book? Being transparent, because like you said, your story can help somebody else, but it takes a while for you to get to the points in your life when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna be fully transparent and I'm put this out here. To me, that's the hardest part. But what was the hardest
Mhm.
part about you writing that book, and just letting it all hang out, as they say?
Is sometimes feeling like don't write that because it might make someone else feel some type of way. But at the same time, I also had to remember that this is my truth, and my truth is not always going to make someone else feel good. It didn't always make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? But this is what it is. I'm not putting it out to hurt nobody or shine no one in a bad light, but this is what I went through.
Without giving a whole lot about it, give us a little snippet about what the book is about, like a little bit in there.
My second book that I'm about to come out with is personal. It's raw. It's about my experiences growing up. I'm dealing with homelessness. I had parents who were drug dealers, so dealing with your doors getting kicked in, bad relationships, the choices we make. Us as Black people, me as a melanated Black woman in America, you get what I'm saying? Just all that, all my experience, all that in one. Like life through, how we all got life through our own eyes, through our own perception. It's that.
True meaning, I always say, you don't define people by their past, because you never know what people's season they're in. I feel like our lives are in parts. They're in certain seasons. We have to go through certain things to get to certain places in our life. Not all of it is gonna be good. It's gonna be some,
Mhm.
some bad, ugly, some good in there. But at the end of the day, when you go through this stuff, it makes you a stronger person. It makes you want to look at life a little bit differently through different lens. Like you have to get to them points in life to say, you know what? Yeah, I've been through that. I did that. Now I'm here. So,
Mhm.
God has his way of doing things. Sometimes he make you laugh. He's funny. He'll take you through these things, and then he have you praying, and then he have you stressed out, like, Lord, how I'm gonna get through this? He already know what's gonna happen,
Right.
but we just gotta
Right.
go through it.
Now, I always be telling my kids, it's like, how they say, like, God likes to get a testimony out of his children, so when we go through that fire and they're like, no, she's down for the count. And God's like, no, hold on. I know how I made my daughter. Give her 2 seconds and watch what she do. Watch what she do. Like, I
Right.
know how I made her. Watch how she about to do this.
He know his children. He know we gonna do
Right.
before we even do it. But I swear, I say he'll make you laugh in a minute, because you'll think your world is crashing. You see the smoke, you see the fire, you see everything going on around you, and you like, I just know I can't come out of this. Then boom, he shows up and bring you right out of it. So,
Right.
but it took me some time to get there. Now, faith is a hard thing, because you know how you had that faith and you be like, okay, they say just have faith, let go and let God. That's hard when you just sitting there on pins and needles, like, is he gonna get me out of this? And then you just sit there and be still. My mom used to say, be still and just let God work. But
Mhm.
hardest thing to do. So now when the world says no, no is a hard word. How do you tell yourself yes and keep creating?
Listen, like I say, when one door closes, kick down seven more like you own them. Listen, only one I'm taking no from is God. If God said no, then the will not be done. That's it.
Heard that. She said keep down 7.
That's it.
Oh man. So now what emotion do you find the hardest to capture when you're writing, and why does it challenge you the most?
I'm not gonna say I've really had a problem um getting emotions out or expressing it, because usually what I'll do is I'll connect myself to a time. I feel like that's the best way to make the emotions in the story so raw, is by connecting yourself to a moment in time where that emotion applied to you. How did you feel? You know what I'm saying? What was your reaction? You know what I'm saying? And it's not always necessarily about you, because as I said, your characters can take over the story. You can start off one way, and if it's really good, your characters start, no, baby, this is what we're going to do because this is what I want to do. I know you're the author, but I'm the character and this is my story. So, you know, sometimes it be that, but I usually try to draw from real deal personal experience, because I find that that's what makes people connect, because they can draw from that same raw, real experience.
That's true. That's true. Now in this time, back in the day, it was where you had to go through a publisher in order to get your book out there. But now they have options of like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and all this self publishing ways. Did you self publish your book, or did you go through a publisher?
So the first time I actually found someone who was an independent publisher, not big name, more small scale. So I had him do the publishing. But this second time around, I wanted to do it because, like I said, learning these things, there's a lot of things you have to learn for yourself. Because like I said, if you don't know what you need to know, you never know when you're being taken advantage of. You never know when someone's telling you this, but it's really that. So I wanted to do it this time myself, and I'm a very independent kind of person. So I like to be able to show myself that I don't have to depend on someone else to get it done. Because, like they say, right, I could give you the fish, but if I teach you how to fish, you got an endless supply. So I could keep going to people for these different services, but if I could teach myself, right, endless supply. And now when I publish my second book, I will now be a publisher, because I had to go through all the steps to do my book. You get what I'm saying? So now I can help someone else or publish someone else's book. So it also gives me a different title as well now.
Right. So now, if you had to do it all over again, that process from then to now, what would you do differently?
I wouldn't do anything differently, because everything taught me what I needed to know to be right here in this spot right now.
I agree. You have to make those mistakes. You gotta, as a child, we have to stump our toe to know that it hurts. We gotta touch that stove to know that it burns. Mm-hmm. And once we learn those lessons, then we can say, okay, I'm not gonna do that no more because that hurts. I'm not going over there no more. But me personally, I think the self-publishing journey versus, I never did the publisher, but I think the self-publishing journey is, how can I say, it's a little bit more challenging because you have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there and sell yourself to people. Do you agree to that, or do you think it's a little bit more easier?
No, I think that that's definitely true, because you definitely have to sell yourself, and you have to know how to and want to, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it'd be tedious trying to post to different platforms, and that can take time out your day, especially if you're not like savvy with it, like some of the older generation might be, so it can be time consuming. I can definitely say that, but that's why it's also important to like maybe get you a team of people who can do certain things. Like me, I got in touch with Dom, who has been giving me a lot of publicity that I wish I kind of had when I came out with my first book, Flames, but like I said, everything is a process, and I'm happy I know you now. We're here where we're supposed to be now.
Right. I was just telling somebody that I said, the biggest part about now versus then when it comes down to social media, internet and everything is you have to post to all these platforms, and like you said, it can take a while. Mm-hmm. And then like I haven't found not one single app where you can just publish it, one button and it go everywhere.
You are reading my mind because for the past 2 days, right, I've been trying to look up apps where I can just post from this one app and everything is good. And now it's so hard because when you want to post links to videos and stuff, now you literally have to go into certain apps because one app will let you post a link in the video, the other one won't let you. So it's like now I can't tell them across the board to click the link in this one app because if they do it on Instagram, right, when you do like not your story but your reel, okay, they're going to click the link, nothing's going to happen. But if I do it on Facebook, they're gonna get the link. On like TikTok, no link. You have to direct them to your your story or something on your homepage. Like, tedious.
Okay, not only that, when you get rid of schedule everything out, you still got to think about when you post it, the time of the day you post it, on the day that you post it, because every day gets different views and different audiences and stuff. You have to be consistent. So if you're gonna post, you gotta post the same time every day.
Same thing every day. And I'm not gonna lie, that's an area where I'm kind of struggling. I will not lie. It's being consistent across every platform, across the board. I will not lie. That is an area where I need to get better at. And I know that. But I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I be feeling like I don't even really care about social media like that. Like but now I gotta be on it posted to all these platforms.
Look, I told somebody, I said, I come from an era where it was dial-up internet. And internet wasn't like really relevant back then. You got up there to, do your searches and stuff. You might went to a few platforms, but now everything is through social media. That's how people know you.
Right. And it's like hard to be that word of mouth kind of thing. Like back in the day, like, all right, you had books, you probably on the corner selling your books, doing all but now everybody wants to see you online and it makes it hard. It makes it hard and like I feel like I'm in between that generation that we came from not having computers to us being in the beginning of computers. So like yes, we're tech savvy, but it's like I'm at a point where like I don't want to be so consumed with this internet, And it's like it sucks when you are doing something like this to not want to be consumed into the internet.
But you know what somebody told me? They said people don't read anymore. I said no, that's not true. People do read. People. It was like people rather have audio.
And I kind of do agree with that.
So
I've had so many people. I'm only saying this because I've had so many people come to me like, "Is Flames on audio?" Because Flames is just a book. I don't have it on like it's not a downloadable, none of that. It's just a hand book. And I've had so many people come to me like, "Can I get the audio? Can I this? Can I that?" And I'm like, "It's just a physical book." I'm like, I need to upgrade it and make it one of those downloadable ebooks because that's what everybody loves. But me, that's the old school in me kicking in because I'm like, I'm used to a physical book.
Listen, it's something about holding it in your hand.
Yes.
And you can highlight stuff, you can write little notes in it. It's just something about that feel. I can't get with the audio. I can't get with the ebook either. Sitting at the computer, looking at it and reading it or listening. I might not be listening. I might hear it, but I'm not listening. So call it the old school, but I agree. But that's what they want though. But audio is more money though. When you do it that way, you got to record yourself. You got to find somebody to record it. You're gonna spend a lot of money doing that audio. That's what they fail to realize, more than probably sales. But
and then it's like you're going through all these platforms that want to eat your money at the same time, and people don't realize that neither. That's why like I have my own platform. Like yes, I'm on Amazon, but I have my own platform because I'm like the middleman always wants a piece of your pie, and it's like I created this pie. Nobody helped me. Nobody bought the ingredients, but y'all want my stuff. Like no.
Yeah, because Amazon takes like half of the profit.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Barnes and Nobles take half of the profit, and that's what people not understanding. Like, if you don't get your own website to sell your book, you lost.
And you got to think about it like this too. Even when you get your own website to sell your book, right? That Amazon's still taking some of your money because they're printing your books for you. You are not paying what everyone else is paying because you're paying like that warehouse value, but they still taking your money. You know what I'm saying? Like.
They still making money because they got to print the book, and you pay
right.
10 copies, 20 copies gonna cost you almost $100.
You know what I'm saying? So,
man. So now I'm down to my last question for you. If you could whisper advice to your younger self, starting as a teen writer, what would it be and why?
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to think about this one. I would tell her that it's going to be fine to keep walking through everything, because all this is going to lead you to the best version of yourself you will ever be.
Wow. You know, we don't know. We don't know. We know then that we know now, but you know, you just got to go through it. You
Let
really
me
just
tell you, anybody listening, if you're young and your parents say, I wish I knew then what I had known now, let me tell you, because I wish I could go back and know what I knew now then. I really wish. And it really makes you understand why life is such a learning experience, because you really got to learn sometimes to get to the best self you've ever been.
But you know
And I
what?
know people love to go back to be young, but I don't ever want to go back to be young because y'all mind. You know, even though I was still a level-headed person for my age, always smarter than my age, still, I'm still like this age right now. I feel like I am the best version of myself I've ever been, and you couldn't even pay me to go back.
You better not give me no money. I ain't going back. Dude, but you know, everybody always said as a kid, I can't wait I get 18. For what? What you waiting to do? Get jumped by bills? Um credit knocking you down? Like what you waiting to do?
Well, I think for most of us, it's the fact that we think we're seeing the illusion of freedom, because you see your parents, oh, my parents can do whatever they want when they want. They don't answer to nobody. They look like their life is so much fun, because in your little kid mind, you're not seeing everything that comes with being an adult. Your mind is just seeing it in this one little box. You know what I mean? So that's what we rush for. We rush for that freedom. We rush for, oh, no one could tell us what to do no more, blah, 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 blah. But then when you get there, you're like, yo, you didn't tell me this sucked this bad. Like,
I gotta pay bills.
right?
I gotta go to work.
And be over the head every week. Like, dang.
Like, this is not what I signed up for. What you mean? I gotta go to work. I gotta pay bills. I gotta have children, family, all this. Listen,
Yep.
my mommy said, keep living. Keep living. And she's right, because every time you cross a new age wave, you change into somebody else. There's certain things you don't have energy for anymore. There's certain things you be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that day. You got it. You got it. I don't match energy no more like I used to. Like, I'm not gonna fight this battle today. I'm just gonna move on. So
Right.
you move differently the older you get, because you become wiser.
You wise up. You move different, because, you know, I see some people today where it's like, dang, you've been doing the same thing for 20, 30, 40 years. Like, no type of growth, no type of evolution, no type of aha moments. Like,
What we doing?
living like you still 16. I mean, come on, man. You pushing it.
Pushing it. All right, so now I'm about to pass the mic to you. I'm gonna do the countdown. This is gonna be your moment where you can let everybody know where to get your books from, the names of the books. Flames, I know is one of them. The names of the books, and how they can support your journey, and give some advice to that upcoming teenager that's out there that's writing right now. You know.
All right, so Flames, my first baby. You can get a copy of this on my website, which is Shawniece Writes, WRITEZ.com. You can also get it on Amazon, but like I said, Amazon is not going to give you any complimentary gifts with your purchase, and you don't get a signed book from them. You just get a regular book. My second book, Unbreakable Thoughts of a Stranger, which will be out in March, you'll also be able to get that on my website, and when it comes out, it'll also be available on Amazon as well. But as I said, you always want to shop with me, because I feel like my customers always deserve something extra. You guys can always follow me and support me on social media. My Facebook is Shawniece Hall. My TikTok is Shawniece Writes. That's WRITEZ. My TikTok is Nisi101. My Snapchat is Nisi. And for my young ones out there who want to write, don't give up on yourself. Don't be afraid of what people will think of your work, because some people are going to like your work and some people aren't, and that's okay. But don't give up on yourself. Take the journey. Don't ever feel like, oh, it's too late to start, because sometimes we got to walk through certain stuff before we realize what we really want and what we really want to do. So go out there and do it, because if I can do it, and there's many other women before you who've done it, many other writers before you who've done it, you can do it too.
I heard that. But you know what? It starts off with us believing in ourselves, and a lot of times we don't know who we are.
Yep. And it's okay to
right.
not know who you are sometimes. It's okay. Sometimes you have to walk through things to find out who you are and what you want. And listen, you guys, no matter how young you are or old you are, we're always changing. At 55, you could decide you want to be something different. So don't ever feel like you got to be settled in one thing. Our Father made us to be multifaceted, many things. So go out there, use them hands, toil in the soil like your father told you, and get what you need to get done.
I know that's right. But thank you so much for coming and having this pleasant conversation with me. If there's anything that I can do on my end to further push you, let me know. And I want an autograph copy too.
Yes, and when I drop this second one, we'll come back and we'll have a conversation about that, because we can get a little bit of deep into that with life and everything else. So
yes, let's do that. So everybody out there that's watching this amazing episode, y'all have been tuned into another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence. Carry this with you, because your story has power. Your choices shape your life, and thriving is always within reach. So take lessons you've learned today, apply them, and pass them on to someone who needs to hear this message. Keep speaking, keep growing, and keep breaking the silence. Later, everybody.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate, but I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm nicking the cold, let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.